Hello, friends, and welcome to the Daily Tarot for Monday, November 10th, 2025. Thanks so much for being here. It is a Monday. We're getting ready to kick off the week. And just heads up, Mercury retrograde began yesterday on the 9th. That is a Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius at first, and then it moves into Scorpio. So be aware of that. Just know there might be some delays, there might be some complications. Mercury retrograde is a perfect time to go back and start to sort through things that are important to you, sorting through things and cleaning out things that are maybe holding you back, are limiting, or are no longer serving you. Mercury retrograde is built for that. It's not a time to go launching into new projects. So with that in mind, let's take a look at Monday, November 10th, 2025. I am using the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck with a little gold foil on it. Now, there might be some, as far as YouTube is concerned, some inappropriate cards. If that happens, I'll have to take them off, edit them slightly, and then bring them back into view. So I'll look at these cards before turning them over off camera. Just FYI, just so you know. So I'm going to pull a couple cards, get an idea of what we need to know for our best beneficial day today. Again, hopefully getting some insight, some inspiration, some clarity, some wisdom, idea of what we need to work on. I hope everybody had a really nice weekend. I did. It was a little busier than I thought it would be, but in the end, it actually was perfect. And there we go. Thanks, everybody, as well, for all your comments on the moon phase reading. It really helped me, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to type something out and to say something and to put a comment down on that moon phase reading. And yeah, helped me understand how you guys feel about it, and I really appreciate that. So let's look at these two cards, get an idea of what is in store for us for Monday. Nice. We have the Moon card and Queen of Swords. Wow. That's a duo that I actually adore. A closer look at these cards. So the Moon card is all about the unconscious, about fears, about concerns, about moving forward through fears by using your intuition. Now, in this case, this is more of a pleasant version of the moon. And it's just sort of like, almost feels like the woman in the moon instead of the man in the moon. It feels like there's some very ethereal, I'm going to use the title right off the deck, some ethereal feminine energy happening with these two cards. The Queen of Swords is the queen that will take care of business. A lot of times I equate her to the Morrigan, or to, you could even say Kali. This is a female that is not afraid to draw a weapon, to take care of business, to protect what is hers. She is very smart. She is intelligent. She is very cutting. She can be a little cold and callous sometimes, but that's only because she's trying to do the best she can for her family, for her friends, for her allies. Here it looks like there is a white crow on her shoulder, which is really kind of cool. But we have a lot of feminine energy today, a lot of, it's almost like introspective. I'm getting a feeling, especially with the Moon card, of some introspective energy today, some introspective yin energy. It's interesting because as a Queen of Swords, the queen is typically yin energy, but this is a yang element. This is a queen that's not afraid to step forward and take care of things outside of herself and outside of her kingdom, just as much as the king would be. Actually, with swords, it almost feels like they flip-flop. And the Queen of Swords is the one who will take action and handle things pretty quickly and very judiciously. You combine that with this moon energy, and it's like this introspective nature and working through fears and concerns, but dealing so with a very sharp blade, with the sharp blade of your intellect, with really cutting through problems today. Cutting through problems because you have the confidence, the knowledge, and the know-how to know how to do it, and to not really worry too much about side effects or even the collateral attitude of others. This is about dealing with things how you know how to deal with them, and but with some introspection first. There's this introspection, this sense of almost like this dream-like quality of the day today, that you may need to cut through a little bit to get down to business and brass tacks. Several of you had said that it would be interesting to see how these daily readings intertwined with the moon phase reading. And it's kind of interesting because I get this sense of intuition from the moon. And I'm going to do that, right? So I'm going to try and combine these and show you guys how these can kind of intertwine. But so with this reading, there's a lot of intuition here, but it's kind of a foggy intuition. Some things aren't that clear. Let's not forget that the moon phase reading was about revelation through your intuition and looking at getting rid of distractions. And it was the High Priestess and the Sun card, two pretty powerful cards. This is sort of the beginning of cutting through that, right? It's another way to get through that intuition. The moon is very much about subconscious prompting, the unconscious. And it seems like there's this sense that from confusion and like this subtle sense of what your intuition might be telling you, today is a chance to get to look at that, but then move into a very clear-headed perception of it and sort of cutting through any fog to move forward and letting reason translate its way through these subtle signals that you're getting. So it's almost like this balancing effect, almost like a temperance effect of these two things today. So be ready to feel with your gut today, but to act with your mind and with your intellect. Like this sense of sensing with the gut, but then turning around and asking hard questions to help you cut through some of the fog. The fog is that sort of subtle sensing is only going to get you so far when it comes to working through issues and problems today in the 3D world that we are in the physical world. So it is this sense of sort of a feminine, not sort of, but it is a sense of a feminine energy that is very present today, but it's a feeling, subtle sense of energy that then moves into some very clear perception of what needs to happen. So listen to your gut first, and then, like I said, be ready to cut through with reason. So it's this balanced approach that's going to be called for today. All right. And it feels like the fog might be fairly thick today, or it might feel thick. It might appear to be thick, but it actually isn't. It's a matter of really keying into your intuition and keying into sort of this. It's a very calm energy today, but foggy, right? And it's going to take a little bit of get up and go, right? With that Queen of Swords energy to step up and to understand what you're sensing and then moving into it and taking action with it with the Queen of Swords. So don't let your dreamy side, your dreamy, intuitive, drifting, flowing self, it needs to kind of hand the reins over at some point today. So the Queen of Swords, or this combination of those two ideas, coming forward today to help make some pretty clear decisions. I think part of that might be fog from Mercury retrograde, and maybe some of that fog from the distractions that we sensed in the full moon, moon path reading. Okay, let's pull a quick punctuation card here. This is the Oracle side of the Dream Interpretation card deck that I have. And let's just see what I'm picking up on. It is over here. It's right there. And this one is gratitude. Okay. Focus on the things you do not have. Focus on the things you do have rather than the things you don't or can't have. Gratitude is another form of prayer. Practice daily. Appreciate everything and everyone in your life. And this is very much is along the lines of what, and the colors today are very muted. I'll finish my statement. This very much is in line with how the Queen of Swords would operate. Operating out of gratitude, operating out of a sense of thankfulness and groundedness, and not letting, there can be kind of a wishy-washy, hard to pin down, foggy vibe about gratitude, right? This is more a very clear-cut understanding of gratitude. This is a clear-cut appreciation of what you have in your life and how you need to work with it and move forward with it. So take your intellect and your perception and apply that to gratitude today. And I think that's going to help a lot with some of the misty, hard to define ideas that might be floating out there today. Yeah, really muted color palette with this bright pop of the marigold. And I think that's what's really going to bring things into clarity for you, is taking the time to find gratitude and appreciation for the life that you are in and that you are working with. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Also, this is a collective universal reading, so feel free to draw a card on your own, see how that card or rune or oracle card would interplay with this overarching reading for the day. And I hope this has helped. I hope everybody has a great Monday, and I will have Tuesday's reading app hopefully later today. I'm trying to stay ahead of the game here a little bit more. And if you have any questions, you can reach me here on Instagram or at alongadifferentpath@gmail.com. All of that is down in the notes down below. Have a great Monday. Peace and strength, everybody. Bye-bye.